Yo, what's up everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and although I was going to do a video about spirituality and unity today, I'm going to switch gears. I was in a sales training yesterday, and the person leading the training, he and I had previously had discussions concerning what we're going to talk about, and that is once you have had a mark that you've hit and you lose the big momentum, you lose the big mo, it is so difficult to get back on track. The goal is to always maintain your momentum, but when you do lose it, how do we get back on track? So we're going to discuss that today, on how to get back on track when you've lost that momentum and you want to get started with something. So before we get started, let's hear from my companies. I'd like to take a moment to thank all our sponsors. For everyone on Patreon who supports this channel through your monthly donations, you are greatly appreciated. And I look forward to providing you free content as well as exclusive live video chats. You will also be able to receive discounts on products from Uncle Renz Popcorn as well as coaching from Coach Renz. This video is also sponsored by Uncle Renz Popcorn, where you can get 25 flavors of delicious gourmet popcorn, from salt and vinegar to strawberry cheesecake, from caramel and cheddar to bacon jalapeno, and many others like cookies and cream. I greatly appreciate everyone who supports us at Uncle Renz Popcorn. This channel is also supported by Coach Renz, where you can not only get all your life coaching, your relationship coaching, but also get your business coaching from Coach Renz, as we teach you how to move your hobbies into a business, not a job for yourself, but a business. We also teach you life principles of leadership and meditation. So go to CoachRenz.com and support the sponsors of this channel. Yo, I appreciate you guys and everybody who subscribed to this channel. If you're finding me for the first time, or if you're a long time listener, please hit that subscribe button. I believe it's right over there somewhere. Hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. I'm happy to be in my commercial kitchen for Uncle Renz Popcorn today, filling these orders for the holidays as well as fundraisers. If you're in the local Atlanta area and you want to do a fundraiser that can make you a lot of money for your organization, hit me up at the letter U, the letter R, and the word popcorn.com. Appreciate that greatly. Keeps the channel going, keeps everything going. Kung Fu hustle. Anyway, I was in a sales training meeting yesterday. Of course, we talked about a lot of things like energy on your floor, energy in your sales team, how the team need to work together. Even though we're out to build for ourselves and make money for ourselves, as far as being salespeople, you still have to function as a team and keep the whole energy alive on the floor, or if you're doing phone sales in the phone call room, you keep the energy alive because people can feel your energy and grasp onto that energy. It was all great, good training. We even talked about how we should deal with one another and different sales techniques. That's not what we're talking about today. And I did a lot in talking about those, and I'll pass that information along to you, what I talked about at a later video. But for this one of the things that the person leading the meeting said that he and I had discussed previously was about how when you've reached a certain level in life, when you've achieved something, and then you take a setback, not a failure, but a setback, and there's a difference. It's hard for you to stay at that level. Many people will take that as setbacks and switch jobs thinking that they can get the momentum back. But then they take that same thing to the other job, because first they're on fire because they're new, but then everything goes to where they really are at that moment. And what we're going to discuss is how to get out of that moment. You got to get out of that moment and change our hypnotic rhythm to fit getting you back to that higher state of being. That's what we want to talk about today. So now for a personal thing, since we're here at Uncle Renz Popcorn's kitchen, if you've been following me for a long period of time, then you know that I have had many iterations of Uncle Renz Popcorn in different locations. You will also know that I had a peak and then I went low into the valley. Rise up again, low into the valley. I've had my ebbs and flows. But one thing that has never stopped is my focus on the drive to get to where I need to be. Every setback has been a lesson. And that's the first thing. Let me adjust that real quick. That's the first thing that we need to understand. when you've been at a high and then you take a low, it's not a failure, it's a setback. If your mindset is that it's a failure, that's why you stay where you are. Even though you may not say it, even though you may not express it in words or words directly, because there were people in this meeting, they don't express it in words directly. It's a roundabout. But even when you don't express it directly, in your mind, it's a failure. You see, it's that person who will sit back and say, well, you know, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've been doing this for 15 years. And back then when we was doing it, you know, I was at this high. I was like the #1 salesperson on my floor. I was, you know, my business was at this level where we had 15 locations and we were making $1 million a year, you know, in profit. I've done this and I was here. Back then the economy was great, but now the economy is not good and it hasn't been good the whole time. Yet other people have succeeded in the exact same thing you've done. You see, you've taken your setback as a failure when you're doing it at that level. You're saying to yourself that there was a point that you reached, but because of outside influences, and if you remember my other video about controlling your outside influences, now you're saying that you can't hit it. Now you're saying that it's not there for you, that there's so many obstacles in your way. You see, you lost your momentum first because you decided that your setback wasn't a setback, but it was a failure. So the first thing is we got to get that out of our mind, that it's only a setback, that if you've been there before, you can get back again. One of the things that used to irritate certain people is that I never would know the names of streets when I've been somewhere. I could tell you how to get somewhere, and I'm a landmark kind of guy. But if I've been somewhere one time, I can tell you how to get back. All I need is one trip to somewhere, and I know how to get back. Because along the pathway, I found landmarks. I found things that says when I get here, better yet. This is for my people who listen to me and they're in Atlanta. You know I grew up in Marietta. Now for those who grew up with me, we grew up in Marietta. But anyone who grew up or have lived in Marietta, Georgia, Marietta, know that if you're given directions in Marietta, everything hinges on the big chicken. The big chicken. Everything hinges on that. You're going to go down 41 or Cobb Parkway, as y'all call it. We're going to go down Highway 41. Then when you see the big chicken, you're going to make a right there on Roswell Road. Or you're going to go down on Roswell Road, and when you see the big chicken, you're going to go about 3 more lights, and then you're going to make a left on Allgood Road. You know, it's everything big chicken. When you want to get to 75, go down the street. When you see the big chicken, you know you close, and you're going to go wherever you're told to go. Everything centers on that landmark. You see, when you have a setback, there were landmarks that originally got you to that high. So what you need to do first, after you realize that it's just a setback, is say, what are the landmarks that will get me back to my high? What were the things that I was doing, and what were the landmarks? What are these landmark things? Okay, so the second iteration of Uncle Ren's popcorn, it was placed in a Publix plaza. Now at the time, I didn't understand the demographic mindset of a Publix shopper and a Walmart shopper and an Ingles shopper and a Kroger shopper and a Food Line shopper. I'm trying to name grocery stores that I know of, but wherever you are of the type grocery stores. Publix up here, Walmart down here. Not the people, not even the product really. Well, sometimes the product, but Publix is a higher end. People will pay the price that's there. Walmart, people are looking for discounts. Nothing wrong with the people. It's just how the mindset is. I'm selling a gourmet product. I cannot put my gourmet product in a discount-minded place. My gourmet product must be in I'm paying for service, cleanliness, for a certain type atmosphere. I'm paying for the experience as well as the product. Publix mindset, Walmart mindset, everyone in between. I did not know this going in the door. So what are my landmarks to getting back? Publix style level plaza. The plaza must be anchored by a Publix. What's another landmark? I need to be in a place where the parking lot is not angled in towards the primary store, that the parking lot is straight up and down. Here's the psychology. When a person gets out of their car, if the parking lot is angled and funneled inward towards one point, when you get out the car, people will generally look down into that point and won't see the periphery. I'm not the anchor. I'm in the periphery. So therefore, I cannot be in a parking lot where it's angled. Learn that lesson. Landmarks. When opening up a store, I have to look at how easy is it to get in and out of the plaza. Is it difficult? Is there a median that bars it? What's the traffic like during the go home hours? Am I on the go home side of the road, since I am primarily a go home style business? Landmarks. I have to be able to identify these landmarks, and there are many more. For all the locations that I've opened up a store that didn't do as well as I anticipated, landmarks have shown me what I missed out on, so now I know what to do when it comes to opening up the next store, which should happen in the spring, right? No, rewind, back. Will happen in the spring. So, landmarks. You have to find the landmarks that got you there. When you was in that amazing relationship, who were you? What were you doing? This was a recent conversation that I had with my love. Is the fact that when I was amazing, see, you guys may think I'm amazing right now, but the way I used to be, before I got tainted with traumas, I was like fantastic in the relationship. I was super, super romantic in the relationship. What were the landmarks that got me there? What were the landmarks that tore me down? And how can I overcome those traumas in order to make sure that I'm back there? By initiating those landmarks. That's how we do it. If I know that I need to be in a Publix plaza in order for my store to be great, then I know in order for me to be fantabulous in a relationship again, what were the things that I was doing? What was the mindset? My daily devotion towards my lady. My daily making sure that I say something, do something, perform a task, give a gift, whatever the love language is, doing something every day to make sure that she knew that, oh boy, girl, you my special something, something. That's what I have to do. That's what we had this conversation, because I realized that this beautiful young lady that is, bring the pitter patter to my heart, she deserves the best of me. Not the good enough for me that everyone else has gotten. And I apologize. Let me apologize. Everyone else has gotten the good enough of me. And that was good for them. She deserves the best of me. And even in that, like what was said in the sales meeting, when you give the best of yourself to the team, to the sales floor, then you get the best in return. Whatever seeds you plant is the harvest you receive. But when you plant one seed, you do not get one ear of corn. You get several ears of corn. You do not get one orange from the orange tree. You get hundreds of oranges from the orange tree. Your return on your investment comes back based on the law of compounding when you just plant the one seed. So the one seed of, in the middle of the day, for no apparent reason, just sending a message, baby, I miss you, returns itself back in fold. Being attentive to the things that her eyes catch and say, ooh, let me go back and get that as a gift. Plant the seed. Coming into the room and just start dancing with her. Planting the seed. Gotta do it constantly. I wasn't doing it as much as I need to. I wasn't hitting all the landmarks. You gotta hit those landmarks. You get those landmarks going, and you'll start to see your momentum will start to change. Life, everything starts to being a little different for you. You know, today is my first day back in the gym, right? It's gonna be hard. My chest gonna hurt. I'm gonna feel like death on a stick. But you know what? By the time we get 30 days in, what's hard today will be easy. What's hard today would be like a warm-up. You know, I would have increased the weights. I would have increased my cardio time. Everything today will be easy, peasy, lemon squeezy, simply because I hit those landmarks and I kept going. And I kept going. I made it a habit. It became a habit. It became a habit because I did it every day. Now, how do we get into an action point of doing it every day? Because like he said, once you hit that mark and you've fallen down, getting up is very, very difficult. It takes you way more energy to get up than it did to fall down. Think about it. I want you guys, don't do it because I don't want you to hurt yourself. But imagine if you just let yourself go, boom, and you fall. How much energy did that take? Not a lot. How much energy does it take for you to get back up? To brace yourself against the floor, to push yourself up against gravity, to pull all your weight up. It takes way more energy to get up than it did to fall down. So here's the point number 3 of this. You have to exert a tremendous amount of energy, but not just in action. Because some of your action is futile because you're not hitting landmarks. But you got to exert a tremendous amount of energy in thought and in emotion in order for your physical action to follow the words that's coming out your mouth. And I put that word out your mouth on purpose because many of you talk the talk, but you ain't walking the walk. You will say to yourself that I'm going to do this in the next 12 months. I'm going to do that in the next 12 months. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to find my husband. I'm going to find my wife. I'm going to become the #1 salesperson on my floor. I'm going to become, get my education up. I'm going to take this class and that class. I'm going to start this business or that business. But you don't do it. You're studying, you're researching, you're reading, you're going to art, you listen to articles, you go to hey, come to our free seminar, learn how to flip houses, you and other people's money. You go to those and then they tell you, this is how you buy into our program. And you realize, I don't have $50,000 to give y'all to buy into your program, but I take the basic information that you just gave me and I'm going to go do some research. Oh, I'm doing the research. Oh, wholesale housing. How do you do wholesale housing? Oh, you get the contract. You find somebody who's having a hard time selling their house. You go out and you get the contract for that house to say that you have the buyers who will buy the house. You hold the contract for 30 days. You hold it for $30,000. You sell that off to somebody for $40,000. You collect 10. And then you let them do their transaction. It sounds simple, but it's a lot of work. But you go and you do it. You research it and you just do it. Oh, tax liens? Let me go to the OCTAP, $3,000. Well, at first, I saved 10% of what I earned. I got $3,000. Now, I'm going to go to a tax lien auction. Yeah, I couldn't get that one. Yeah, I couldn't get that one. But boom, I got this house that I was researching. I paid the tax lien on that. I'm holding it for a year. There's no other liens on it. I did my research. There's no other liens. Even though I'm not supposed to be cutting the grass, I'm going to cut the grass anyway to make sure that no other liens from the city or the county get on it. And then after 12 months, in Georgia, after 12 months, I can now title this house. And now I can get me a HELOC loan, fix it up. I can Airbnb it. I can rent it or I can flip it. We talk about it, but we got to be about it. You got to be about that action, that massive action. It takes a lot of massive action to move you from your setback back, just back to where you were. Just not even past it, just to get back there. Just to get back there. And that's the goal, to get back to where you were. You see, I used to be 225 pounds, less than 15% body fat. I was in my late 20s when that happened. Because it was funny, when I became a personal trainer, I actually gained weight because I didn't have trainers. I was training everybody else, so I didn't train myself. But to get back there now at 48, 20 years later, it's going to take a massive amount of effort. More effort than it took when I was in my 20s. All right? But I got to take that action. To get back to the romantic loving guy I used to be, massive action. To run my store better than I ran it before is going to take massive action on my part in order to get everything to a point where it's functioning that way, functioning in a way that's better than what I ran it, the way I ran it the first time. Massive amounts of action. How do I do that? How do I keep focused on that? How do you get focused on that? Very simply put this way, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. A Harvard study from way back when showed that when they took 100 people, and out of the 100 people they said, all right, we want you guys to write down your goals. And we want you to read your goals daily. Now, out of the 100 people, the majority of them didn't even write down their goals because this was an elective for them to do. The majority didn't write down their goals. And then about 30% wrote down their goals. And then out of the 30%, only about 10%, no, actually 3% read their goals every day. At the end of a 20-year period, when they all came back together, The ones who didn't write their goals down did not achieve, for the most part, any of the goals that they said that they had at that time frame. The ones who wrote it down only achieved about a third of their goals. But the ones who wrote it down daily, who read it daily and got into the habit of writing their goals, they achieved their goals at about 70% rate. That 3% were financially wealthy, in better relationships, and in better health. And their spirits were just better. Why? Because they wrote their goals down and they read it every day. What I'm telling you is to get started, write down your goals. Now, if you've read my book or have purchased my book, and you can go to CoachRenz.com and purchase the digital version of it for $5, go do that. If you've read my book, How to Escape Mental Welfare, you know that I tell you to create a plan of attack. The first thing you have to do is write down your goals. Then when you write down your goals, look at the 1, 2, or 3, because the rule of 80-20, 20-80 says that 20% of the things you do gives you 80% of your results. So 2 or 3 of your goals will give you 80% of your results, meaning that these 2 or 3 are the most impactful things you can do. You see, when I open up another Uncle Renz Popcorn, and being a realtor now, when I do these 2 things, these 2 goals achieved, the realtor one, done, the other one in process, when I open up Uncle Renz Popcorn, it'll give me even more free time. As I have more free time, I can go to the gym. I can climb Stone Mountain on a more regular basis. It's cold outside. I ain't doing this cold. I can go out for runs. I can do yoga more often. It gives me the free time to get my health back. It also gives me more free time and more finances to date my love, to get to be with her more often, to spend more time with her, to do all the things I want to do with her. It'll give me more time to spend with my children, who are adults now, but to raise them as adults to higher stakes. It'll also prove to my children again that, hey, your dad fell back. Y'all have never seen me fall back before. In their lives, this is the low. They've never seen this out of me. They've always seen high, 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 high. But they were too little when I had a low. But now they see me come out of it. It inspires them to that, where if they have a fallback, they can push back forward and get there. So I'll spend more time developing them as adults. It gives me more time to shoot videos, work within the community, build things that affect everyone at a grander scale. It'll give me more. It'll impact my goals, the goals that I have. It'll allow me to do them. The travel goals, the moving to another country goal. It affects all those goals that I have faster, bigger, by achieving just 2 of my 7 goals. Just 2 of my 7 affects everything else bigger, more so. That's what I'm telling you. So in my book, How to Escape Mental Welfare, I talk about when you get those 2 goals, then under those 2 goals, write down everything that you can think of that will help to facilitate those 2 goals, right? So opening up another Uncle Renz Popcorn, it was number 1, can have the biggest impact. Now, at the time when I wrote that, I had just shut down, the time I first thought about it, I had just shut down Uncle Renz Popcorn, right? The last one in February of this year, 2019. And I said, okay, I gotta reopen another store. I know owning a store is gonna facilitate all my other goals. So how do I open up another store? Well, at this moment, I don't have the cash flow to do it. I'm $20,000 in debt. How do I do it? Right? So I started driving. I picked up I had the popcorn online. I picked up a side hustle with driving Lyft. And I had a process of saving money, paying down the debt. And this is debt on my credit card that, decreased my credit score because my usage rate was so high. So it'll drop in the credit card amount, will raise my usage rate back up. Lower my usage rate so that my available credit goes back up, which will re-increase my credit score back to where it was. So I had a plan of attack. I started thinking, driving for Lyft, put 10% down, put 10% into saving, 10% goes into, then this amount goes into paying the credit card down. And just moving the money and doing it and working, driving at night. I'm gonna make more money if I drive overnight, so let me drive overnight. All these different things were popping. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Now, I did let life grab hold a couple of times, and I wasn't able to do everything. Then in August, I had to stop driving Lyft. Lyft wasn't gonna work out for me. So I said to myself, all right, self, what can we do to make this real? You have to go get a civilian job. and you love sales. I called one of my coaches. You know, I have been career coaching my friend Troy forever. So I called Troy. Troy, your turn. Your turn, buddy. You know me. What's my field? Where do I do? This is my plan. This is what I need to do. Give it to me. Talk to me. So we talked. He thought I should go back into IT and go into management. But after we talked about it, sales. I'm not going back into IT. I had to get a civilian job. I had to get a corporate job. So I got a sales job. But even getting a sales job, what did I realize after talking to Troy? I got a sales job. Sales job is great. Making commissions. I'm the number 3 salesperson on the floor right now. That's cool. But that was one of, but let me go back a little bit. When I got the sales job, in the interview, I asked the question, who's your number 1 salesperson? Oh, that guy's your number 1 salesperson? Okay, that's the guy I need to beat. I had to create a competition for myself. It's not so much about arrogance. I need to create a competition for myself because I got to be in the top. Got to be at the top. So right now, after only being there for 2 months and only a month on the floor, I'm the number 3 salesperson on the floor right now. Right? So in the top 3%, or the top percent, 30% of the store, actually, or something like that. But I'm in the top. That's all we need to know. But I said that, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to be in the top, because if I'm in the top, then I know I'm making the commissions that will allow me to put money over here to drop this amount of debt so that my credit score goes back up, and I have the expendable cash, and I have the cash flow to be able to open up another store, because that's the ultimate goal. But then as I was looking at it, I said, okay, this job will give me the ability to keep my house stable and open up my store, but what it will also, but then I said, but it's slow ticking. It's slow ticking. So how can I do it faster? You know what? I love my free time. This job takes away my free time. So what's another plan of attack? What becomes my number 2 goal? Get my real estate license. Get my real estate license. That way I control my time, but then my commissions can be drastically higher, because I know my skill set. And that's what another thing, you have to get involved in yourself and know what is your skill set. What are you a champ at? Once you know that, identify that, now jump into it and do it wholeheartedly. Like I said, it takes a tremendous amount of energy and effort. I have been able to study and get to a point and study and get to that point of the real estate license faster than most people do, simply because I exerted more energy. Admittedly, I could have done it even faster if I had truly focused on it even more so. And that's the thing. You got to get in focus of what you're trying to accomplish. You got to have it constant. That's what writing that goal down and reading it over and over again every day does for you. Reading every day, it will do it. It will keep it in focus, keep it in your mind. You will see opportunities, and that's when you got to take those big giant steps in those opportunities. I was just explaining today how every religion teaches this, and I'm explaining it my way, and I'm explaining the one that I grew up in, and in my mindset today. Every religion teaches that if you take 1 step towards God, God will take 2 steps towards you. In my esoteric way of thinking, if I take a giant step towards my goal, because I have been given dominion over my universe, dominion over the laws of attraction, if I take positive mental and emotional steps towards that goal, then the universe, God, will take 2 steps towards me. Right? The all will say, you know what, Lorenzo? I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. You're mastering that law of cause and effect. I got you. That's your causal factor. Here's the effect. You're raising your vibration, Lorenzo? Okay. Since you're raising your vibration to meet that side of the polarity scale, let me move you over here to where the higher vibration people are. Oh, you've got your mentalism going. You understand that the all is in all, but the all are not the all. But you are in the image. So let me put it in ways that most people don't. You are made in the image of the Creator. So therefore, since you have that divinity that I placed in you, and you realize that you can imitate me, and imitation is the highest form of flattery, or I don't like that term flattery really, but imitation is the highest form of respect. That's my new way. Imitation is the highest form of respect. Because when my kids imitate me, or my new little nephew imitates me, then it's like, yeah, he's learning from me. Yeah, that's cool. So Imitation is the highest form of respect. When you're doing that, Lorenzo, bam, I got you. I got you. You understand that law of mentally. You got your conscious thought and your subconscious thought working together to manifest what it is. And since you put that out into the ether, boom, let me bring it to you. Here's an opportunity. All right, Lorenzo, you've passed your test. Bam. Now I'm going to send this person in who needs you to go to this broker and be with this broker. Oh, I'm going to put you in a position where you can meet people and you can talk to people and you can move forward in this thing. That's what I'm going to do for you when you take a big step towards me. That's just how it works. Regardless of where you come from, whether you call it karma, whether you call it, Krishna or Jesus or, Buddha or Zoroaster, however you look at it, it doesn't really matter to me. I respect however you look at it. But just know it's all the same thing. So you have to do that. And even if you don't believe in that, just look at nature and how it works. Just do it. Test it. And you'll see it works every time. And then all you do is you just sit back and be like, we cool. We got this. I see this. It's moving forward. I'm going to keep using it. And then once you do that, you get into the flow of it. You get that big momentum back. And when you get that momentum and realize that, I never want to go back. You have to make going back so painful that it just can't happen ever again. You get into that point. That's the final part we're going to talk about today. You get to a point where going backwards again is too painful. You don't dwell on the past pain, but you just remember that past pain enough that when you hit that 6-figure mark again, when I get that free time again, when me and my lady are at such a higher state of intimacy that is metaphysical, that you say to yourself, the law of polarization must now be in play. That the moment I see the vibration swing me back to the left, nope, let me vibrate back to the right. And as a matter of fact, I now see that I thought this was the end of the right side of the polarity scale, but now I realize that it's not. I thought 100,000 was the most I can make, but I can make 200. Oh, I thought I can make 5. Oh, I thought, because law of compounding, I made 500. Oh, shoot, I can make 2 million. Oh, I made 2 million. Oh, shoot, I can make 12 million. Because the law of compounding, it's like times 10, times 5, times 3. It's 3x, it's more. Oh, the love is here? Oh my goodness, the love can be so much further down the line. So much bigger. I tell my lady all the time, because we are of different core beliefs. Well, no, reverse. No, go back. We have the same core belief. We have different ways of expressing it. But I tell her all the time that it is in my thought. It is in my emotion. It is in my consciousness and in my divinity that our love will show the world that we can all come together in unity. Even though we may enter the room from different doors, we still came into the same room. Love is love. Respect is respect. Charity is charity. How I do it, why I do it, who brought me up to do it this way and that way, doesn't matter. What does matter is when I disrespect you for the way that you do yours and you disrespect me for the way I do mine. We are together, and we will be a demonstration of how unity really works. I know that's sidebar, but it's okay. I can say this. People will try to disrupt your flow once you start hitting that big mo. You have to guard against that. You guard against that in your inner being. You guard against that in your outer being. You put that hedge of protection inside you, that hedge of protection all around you. You call upon the God Goddess inside you to protect you and defend you. You call upon the God Goddess outside of you to protect you and defend you. If it's your ancestors, if it's your guardian angel, if it's your jinn on the right shoulder, whatever you call it, whatever you do that connects you to the astral plane, connects you to divinity, that says that, hey, Gabriel, Michael, Azur Mazda, whomever, I need your guidance. I need to use you as a marker, a landmark to say, that's why, one of the things I did love about the What Would Jesus Do bracelets is that it was a reminder, a marker to people who otherwise would do something evil or wrong or harmful to someone else. be nasty, be negative towards someone else, be selfish towards someone else. And it reminded them to say, based on my beliefs, that's not what the leader of my belief would do. So let me not do it. Because I'm made in the image. I'm made in the likeness. Ye are gods and goddesses. You will do greater things than he. You are the child of the Most High, the All, whatever you call him, Allah. It's that there. So I ask you, a person who believes in anything, and I know, sidebar, a person who believes in whatever you believe, in your belief, do you fall to the negative, to the evil, and stay in the negative and the evil? Or do you say, no, I have been a champion before because my beliefs took me there, my strength took me there, my willingness to walk as whatever faith I believe took me there. It got me there. And even though I've fallen back, I know it's more common to just stay there and say, I'm learning a lesson, I'm in a season that I'm supposed to grow out of it, or just to say the words that God, Yahweh, Allah, Buddha got something, karma got something better for me. No, there is better for you as soon as you decide. As soon as you decide. I'm going to talk more about that in a video later, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But understand, when you back it by your faith, you back it by that strength of your faith, there's nothing that can stop you, because your emotions and your mind are all in sync and unified and under the same house to move you towards your goal, to get you there, because you've written it down. You've written it down. Now tomorrow I'm going to do a video talking about 369. I wasn't going to do this for a while. I was going to let everything that I'm working on right now manifest itself. But a great conversation that I had earlier today has brought it more to bear. Then I'm going to talk about the power of 369, how I have taken the previous ways that I've manifested things and augmented them by studies that I've been studying, something I studied years ago that I decided 30 some odd days ago that I was going to reincorporate, and they've been showing proof already. So I want to talk about that tomorrow, since it's fresh on my mind from a conversation that I had today, and I look forward to it. So I hope you guys would join me for that conversation. Let me rephrase that. Back up. Join me for that conversation as I express that in a video on tomorrow. So y'all have a great day. Remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.